SpaceX's historic expedition with the U.S. Army into the stars. Fasten your seatbelts as we venture into space, where ingenuity collides with fate. Learn how SpaceX's second Starship was approved by the U.S. Army at Starbase, ushering in an era of unmatched technological breakthroughs and extraordinary aspirations. Come along on this cosmic journey with us to see how cutting-edge technology and natural wonders of the universe combine. The Corps notified the public in March 2021 about SpaceX's desire to alter their existing authorization. With the installation of new infrastructure, like as test pads, landing pads, integration towers, and supporting facilities, the SpaceX vertical launch area was intended to be expanded. It was estimated that the extension will affect approximately 10.94 acres of estuary wetlands, 5.94 acres of mudflats, and 0.28 acres of non-tidal wetlands. But in March 2022, the Corps made the decision to halt the study of this plan in order to give SpaceX more time to complete the public interest review and alternatives analysis that are necessary for the assessment. In February 2024, SpaceX recommenced the application process for permits, incorporating updated project plans. The current suborbital launch pad and test stand will be replaced by a new orbital launch pad, which will be built on a 0.16-acre marsh. Thankfully, the other natural zones that were highlighted in the notification for 2021 will remain unaffected. The total effect area will go from 514 to 5.3 acres as a result of this change to the permit. Wonderful news! The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has granted SpaceX permission to carry out a second test flight of its heavy-lift rocket and upgraded Starship. In order to oversee commercial launch sites, SpaceX had to comply with all safety, environmental, policy, and financial standards, which the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, verified. In April, just 4 minutes after liftoff, SpaceX's grandiose Starship project, which towered over 120 meters, suffered a mid-air explosion. The company's launch pad was destroyed in this disaster, and sand and concrete rubble were also dispersed across a large region. The Starship, which is planned to be completely reusable and taller than the Statue of Liberty, is expected to be SpaceX's next-generation launch vehicle, able to send up to 150 tons of satellites into orbit. This rocket will also be used by SpaceX on crewed trips to the Moon and eventually Mars. NASA hopes to utilize this rocket in 2026 to land astronauts on the Moon, which would be a huge milestone since 1972. It also has great relevance for SpaceX's launch operations. Following the April failure, SpaceX made a number of design changes to the rocket. Citing safety concerns, the FAA required multiple changes before approving another Starship launch. The accident was traced to an onboard fire that hindered the upper stage of Starship from successfully separating from its super heavy first stage booster as planned. An automated self-destruct command that was delayed caused the explosion that followed. As part of its development plans, SpaceX intends to improve its rocket launch facilities in Texas by purchasing public land. A tentative land swapping arrangement is moving forward despite opposition from locals and officials near the US-Mexico border. The trade, which gives SpaceX 43 non-contiguous acres from Boca Chica State Park in return for 477 acres roughly 10 miles south of Brownsville, Texas, was just approved by the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission. Plots of land with protected flora and fauna that are off-limits to the general public are included in the 43 acres under dispute. SpaceX suggests exchanging this land for 477 acres, although they haven't yet purchased the new site. Beach access is not available from any of the subject parcels or the proposed new area. The 43 acres, however, are close to coastal lagoons and nationally protected areas. By this exchange, 477 acres that would otherwise be developed into commercial strips or condominiums are guaranteed to remain undeveloped. The well-known space transportation firm SpaceX, well known for its fleet of rockets, is thinking about supplying the U.S. Army with the Starship as an efficient way to move soldiers and supplies. Furthermore, SpaceX believes that offering the military access to its Starlink internet service has potential. Sending soldiers into space may be premature until space missions become a reality, despite the allure of inexpensive satellite internet for the Army. SpaceX is considering the Army as a possible customer for their Starship Super Heavy rocket and Starlink broadband network, in line with their objective of developing dependable and affordable transportation options. Combining the Starship spacecraft with the Super Heavy rocket, Starship is SpaceX's most ambitious project to date. Together, these two formidable machines can carry 110 tons into low Earth orbit, more than the cargo of the C-17 Globemaster III transport plane used by the United States Air Force. With a top speed of 18,000 miles per hour, SpaceX plans to use the Starship not only for space missions, but also to transform point-to-point transportation on Earth. Starship would function similarly to a ballistic missile in a point-to-point mode, taking off into low Earth orbit and rapidly accelerating towards a predetermined landing place. With its propulsion systems, Starship would make a safe landing, even though it looked like a re-entering warhead. Starship might be used by the U.S. Army to move troops and supplies quickly from the U.S. mainland to far-off military installations abroad. Starship could carry a company of troops or up to 100 people with their weapons. It could also transport large objects like an M1A2 Abrams tank with its crew, ammunition, and gasoline. The primary user for point-to-point space travel will not be the military. Space exploration is still dangerous. The Space Shuttle's 1.5% historical safety rate was considered unsatisfactory. A substantial improvement in safety metrics is a must for the military to consider deploying SpaceX's Starship. Moreover, given the reliability and affordability of traditional air travel, the cost-effectiveness of point-to-point travel via Starship must be proven. The Army is more likely to be interested in the Starlink satellite network, which provides global internet connectivity. With the potential to place 12,000 satellites in low Earth orbit and provide global broadband connectivity. This system is a strong option for operations around the world, including those conducted by the U.S. Army. While there are advantages to having a single worldwide communication network, there are also disadvantages. Multiple ports of entry for cyber attacks could compromise the security of individuals and important military data. The security of such a large satellite network is a worry, especially when handling classified military data, as SpaceX's cybersecurity methods and tactics are veiled in secrecy. To protect sensitive data, strict security procedures would be required. On the other hand, restrictions on the kinds of data that can be shared might be required. Nearby towns were also impacted by the rocket launch's aftermath, most notably Port Isabel, where a significant amount of sand was discharged into the atmosphere. The dust does not appear to be contaminated chemically, yet breathing in particle matter can be harmful to your health. To guarantee SpaceX complies with accident investigation procedures and other legal requirements, the FAA's oversight is essential. The investigation cannot be concluded until the final report has passed FAA inspection. Unlike the sturdy configurations typical of Falcon rockets, the absence of a flame diversion system or water cooling devices during the launch contributed to the debris dispersal and damage to the launch pad. Elon Musk had stated that he was building a water-cooled steel plate underneath the launch mount, but this feature was not installed in time for the most recent launch, forcing the engineers to rely on concrete reinforcement that failed under full thrust conditions. Musk and his crew have a stake in finding a solution in addition to preventing environmental damage. It's possible that debris expelled during launch contributed to the loss of many Starship engines, which ultimately resulted in the mission's failure. A thorough engineering investigation is required to determine any conclusive connection between the on-site damage and the airborne incident. Musk stated that the launch location might be ready in 1 to 2 months, albeit this may be an excessively optimistic estimate. In addition to conducting an investigation into the malfunction of the rocket, SpaceX needs to make adjustments to its launch infrastructure and obtain FAA reapproval. It appears that the military and the commercial space industry will work together to provide more than just satellite placement services. Though it's too soon for the Army to commit to a fleet of military Starships, now is a good time for the military to tell firms like SpaceX what it needs. Unmanned rockets not only save reaction times, but also provide a safety benefit to soldiers by delivering medical supplies, emergency supplies, humanitarian relief, and special operations equipment to high-risk regions protected by strong enemy air defenses. Apart from NASA's moon ambitions and Elon Musk's plan for Martian colonization, Starship is already playing a role in national security and paving the way for a variety of uses, including possible military deployments. A stronger partnership between private space endeavors and military missions is imminent, even as SpaceX navigates obstacles in infrastructure and permission processes. The coming together of state-of-the-art technology and national security requirements suggests that unmanned starships may become the leading edge of safe, quick, and strategic logistics in difficult terrains and hazardous settings. Join our YouTube channel to stay up to date on space news and discussions. Kindly click the like, share, and subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Thank you for watching.